How's it going, chopping up? So my name is OBugTV. Welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be talking about the best skills and abilities you should be trying to get in AC Valhalla. As you see, guys, I've got power level 400, so that means I've got every single skill in the game. And I also just recently found the final ability books. I haven't got all of the upgrades yet. I think I'm missing 2. Yes, I'm missing the final upgrade for Blinding Rush and Feign Death. But otherwise, I've got almost every single ability. And yeah, effectively, I was planning on making 2 videos talking about skills and abilities separate, but you know what, I just thought, that's just lazy. So if I put them all together in one big video here, get the information out to you super quick, then yeah, that's just easy for you guys. So, without further ado, let's get straight into it. When you start the game, obviously you start here. Pretty lame. You don't get these mastery point things until you've reached power level 400, which is technically level 200. Though it's actually a little bit less than that because you get skill points for doing open world activities and some other stuff like that, and like the offerings, for example. And actually, I'm going to be talking about the best skills I think you should be trying to get as soon as you start the game. Right, now, at the top of my list here, I have got arguably one of the most useful skills in the game, and that is Brush with Death, and it's found right here. This skill is extremely overpowered. Like, it's really powerful, and it allows you to pretty much undermine the basic combos of pretty much every single elite enemy in the game. Without this skill, you will end up having to, if you counter, say, like a big character, he's got maybe the one with the sword, I can't remember all their names, but you counter the first attack, you have to counter all of their attacks. If you dodge through the first one, they'll be able to just lock straight back onto you. However, if you're able to proc Brush with Death, you are able to attack and effectively interrupt their combos mid-attack. Not to mention, in boss battles against, say, the 3 witches, this skill is insanely powerful, and it is genuinely the difference between living or dying. So I would definitely recommend getting that as soon as possible. As you can find it here, it takes a bit to get to, so you've got to go all the way around here, which is a bit annoying, a bit tricky. However, if you don't go for it straight away, you can, of course, get to it in like different ways. It really depends what skills you want to try and get first, but right, the next best skill I would recommend you getting would be Advanced Assassination, right here. This one's a little bit closer, but as you see, they're both tier 2 skills. And the reason why you want to get this one is just because it allows you to effectively get that instant kill on any enemy in the game. If you are a pussy and decide to use Guaranteed Assassination in the options menu, let's see if I can find it right here for you guys. So if you go into your gameplay, and you go all the way down, you've got your stealth difficulty, and then you've got Guaranteed Assassination. And effectively this means that you won't need Advanced Assassination. And if you don't, and if you do put this option on and you do have Advanced Assassination, you don't have to do that little like mini game thing in order to guarantee it. So yeah, but effectively the actual quick time event is not challenging, so I would definitely recommend picking up Advanced Assassination. And yeah, it's just effectively it's almost like the equivalent of Brush with Death. If you like doing stealth playthroughs and you want to do stealth gameplay, take Advanced Assassination. But then if you want to just go in, you don't want to mess around with stealth, you don't want to mess around with ranged attacks, just go straight in with Brush with Death, because that will help you when you're actually in combat. This will help you when you're outside of combat. Advanced Assassination is very useful if you want to try and get pieces of gear that are locked away in areas that are quite high level, because there are quite a few pieces of gear, say for like the Mentor set or maybe the Feign set, both very powerful gear sets. You will have to usually kill like an elite enemy that has a key, and with Advanced Assassination you'll be able to instant kill them even if you're at power level 20, and effectively be able to stealth all the way through that and not have to worry about having to run away and then come back and all that sort of stuff just to try and lose aggro. Right, so those are the 2 very important skills I recommend getting straight away. The next 2, they kind of they will take you a while to get, effectively, but these are something you should probably try and work towards after you've gotten past the basics. You've got the bare minimum that you kind of need, and now you're coming down to the good skills. And then we're going to start with Grit, and it's over here in the wolf tree. As you see, it's quite a bit of an investment to get all the way over here, but you can decide which skills out of here you want to get on the way. It's up to you, really. I would recommend probably going for the sprint attack. You link it from Advanced Assassination, sprint attack, and then battleground bolts. You can also get last chance healing. That's also very good. That's very similar to Brush with Death, actually. So Advanced Assassination, sprint attack, last chance healing, but you want to try and get Grit. And that effectively means that whenever you get hit, as long as you hit back it's a very significant window. It's like, I think it's like 5 seconds or something. Then you can pretty much regain 80% of the damage you just took. On the latest attack, I suppose I should say. So if you got, say, attacked by 2 different enemies, in a short period of time, then obviously you're only going to regenerate 80% for that, like the most recent attack. But if, say, you're getting attacked by, say, a boss, they hit you with an insanely powerful strike, especially on like Dragon difficulty, where they're going to be doing like 2/3 of your health bar, and then you just slap them once. You can even use an ability, say like the harpoon, to, as long as it does even the smallest bit of damage, you will get that red portion of your health bar back, and you will regenerate most of the damage you just took. Now, I said 80% earlier. That's just because it's a rough estimate. The red portion of damage it does actually change based on which attack that you're getting hit with. Like light attacks, for example, I believe they actually have a much higher red portion, whereas heavy attacks will deal a lot more guaranteed damage. So just keep that in mind. Right, then the next 2 skills I'm talking about, they're not important, but I found that they were very, very useful. Starting things off, we have Missile Reversal. There we go. Effectively, this just allows you to effectively parry ranged attacks. And as you see, the main use is really when you're going against these boys with the fucking spears. They're just so annoying. And it's just really, really fun to actually pull it off. And actually, sometimes, if say you're in a siege and you're getting shot by archers, you can actually counter. You can use this accidentally when you're actually trying to parry like a normal melee attack, and it will give you invulnerability. So if you pull off this ranged missile reversal by accident, you can actually just get immunity to damage from someone who's literally standing right next to you. So it's accidentally saved my ass from taking lots of damage in the middle of a siege. So yeah, not pretty good attack. And then finally, I would say recommend the 5th skill you want to try and get as soon as possible is Arrow Reinforcement. It's more of a niche skill. It's not required. If you don't like using bows, then obviously don't bother. But effectively it just means that you will be able to loot any arrows that you shoot, provided you collect them afterwards. So if you put 3 arrows into a character, you can just get them off them afterwards, and it's fine. And effectively it's just really useful. You don't have to mess around looting for arrows, and you don't have to resort using that torch trick when having to do open world exploration, like destroying the ladders and windows and stuff like that. You can just shoot it with your bow and pick it up straight away. But yeah, those are the best skills I recommend getting straight away. The honorable mention, obviously, heavy dual wield. Now, the reason why heavy dual wield is not on this list is because when you leave Norway, you will have one double-handed weapon, and that's like it. You'll have like an axe, and it's not even really that good. The point is, you won't get a lot of heavy weapons like the dual wield weapons till later into the game, and then by that point you'll know definitely what you like. I mean, I run a flail and a hammer, so I don't even actively use this skill. Though of course in my recent build I talked about using Excalibur, the broadsword. Obviously you needed that skill, but you don't actually need it to run a lot of builds, and so really it just comes in if you want to run that. So after you've got that, just put your way up into there, so then you can get like an extra adrenaline slot and stuff like that on the way. Right, so that was the skills, guys. Now we're going to move on to the abilities. Arguably a lot more interesting, I think. And yeah, well, let's just go straight into it. Ranged abilities. This one I feel like has a lot more niche to it. However, these are the ones I currently use. There are 2 here that I really, really like, and that is Fire. This is Incendiary Powder Trap. So it's different from the Poison variant, which you'll get much later in the game. But effectively, this allows you to destroy walls that require those like jars to explode. If you have an adrenaline shot, you can just go boop and effectively just circumnavigate open world exploration. You can just skip through. If you see a wall, you don't have to mess around trying to find one of those stupid jars. You can just blow it up straight away, and then you can go move on. And it just made just the exploration a lot easier and a lot less tedious. So I definitely recommend getting that. Man's Best Friend. This one is insanely useful, especially when you're hunting down zealots. The upgraded version, not that great, because actually there's a cooldown on it, which is really annoying. And that obviously the upgraded version of this actually just means that cooldown's longer. But in the sieges and stuff, it is obviously a bit better. But this is insanely powerful against zealots, because when you hit them with the dog will jump into the ground. You can actually, if you're quick enough, you can get 2 stomps on the zealot when they're on the ground, or pretty much, I think it's any enemy, but definitely zealots in particular, and you can get some insane burst damage. Say you're stressed, you're getting oofed. You don't even have to aim at them. You just hold down right click and one. As long as you're facing in their rough direction, it will just jump on them. And then you've got breathing room, and then you can get the 2 stomps. Obviously, you can heal, and it will just allow you to relax. Very chill. The next best ability I would recommend would be Focus of Nornir. I think that's how you pronounce it. This is insanely good, especially when you're going against legendary beasts, because effectively you ADS, or you zoom in with your bow, you see where their weak spots are, and then you activate this ability, and you can effectively get every single weak spot on an enemy. However, you should note that when you activate this ability, sometimes, I'm not sure if it's a glitch or a feature, but the weak spots don't actually show up when you're activating this ability. So make sure you know where they are beforehand, so you just zoom in a little bit for a second, just to find out where they are. And obviously it's the same for most enemy types, so you'll learn it for most parts. And then you can just activate this, get all the weak points in one go. It does not require arrows, so if you guys have actually just run out of arrows and you need to, say, destroy a door bar, you can actually use this ability and get get unlimited arrows for the duration of this ability. So very, very useful for that. So a little bit more, not less useful as the fiery trap for exploration, but it still has some use. But yeah, very, very good if you want to get that stun attack straight away, and as I said, very good for beasts if you want to try and get those weak points, because they move around very, very quickly. Right, and the final ability you'll see here is the Sleeping Dart. I don't use it, honestly. I should. It's quite good. If it effectively means that when you use it on someone, you can get free like Assassination, very, very similar to the Feign Death, which in theory allows you to get an unlimited amount of like adrenaline, because you could just use this, assassinate, then using the stealth adrenaline ability, just get another slot and then do it again. Takes ages, not very cool. I don't actually use it at all, honestly. You can just put anything there. I mean, you can use the ranged fire strike or the ranged poison strike. Honestly, it's up to you. Mark for Death, that one does actually look quite cool, especially if you use it with like a predator bow or a well, yeah, whatever. Look at the description. That it does look pretty cool if you want to like kill a lot of people. So I would probably choose between those two. Like put that on number 2. You know what? Maybe I'll use it for a little bit. I don't know. Points I rarely use it anyway. It's usually just these 3 I worry about. Right then, melee skills. You already know what I'm going to say. The best one, easily Harpoon. It's overpowered. The damage is going to get nerfed, but even if it does, it's still going to be insanely useful, because you can effectively throw enemies into each other. You can throw them against walls and get that bonus damage. Or something that I actually really like to do is when you use a weapon such as the flail or the dagger that has a really, really small range, I can use this to pull someone close to you. Then you can just dash up on them. It mainly uses the second variant though, when you like slash them afterwards. And then you can zoom and you get them in close and you just mash them up. It's very good against the bandits, for example, that hide in bushes. You can just use it, and then they won't be able to hide from you. You can just get the free lock on, and it's okay. What else? Yeah, it's just very, very good. It is just the best one. Also, it's a rope dart. I mean, I'm kind of disappointed it's not like the rope darts we've seen in previous Assassin's Creed games, like, say, Black Flag, where you can actually just lynch people, which was epic. But this is a lot more of a static animation, so there's less freedom with it, I would argue, but yeah, no, it's still very, very good. The next best ability I would recommend is Poison Strike. Where is it there? You get the Poison and Fire Strike, that's for the ranged and melee, from doing the Order medallions, so killing zealots, killing members of the Order, effectively progressing the story, and you give these to Hytham in your settlement, and he will give you these. Oh yeah, I should probably note, guys, you can get Man's Best Friend, by the way. That is a mission you have to do in your settlement. Once you get to around settlement level 3 or 4, there's a character in the Longhouse. It's a boy. Speak to him and you'll get that mission. Sorry, I should have said that earlier. I'll probably put a little notice up. But yeah, anyway, these ones you get them from Hytham, and the reason why I would recommend Poison Strike is because you can get a epic rune which ignites your weapon, so you can get fire damage just from getting critical hits. And that's a rune you can get, but I haven't found one yet for poison. So yeah, effectively, it's a guaranteed way to get both the effects going at the same time. And so yeah, I'd recommend using Poison Strike. And you see, I also have Fire Strike on because it is quite fun. But yeah, I have less use for that now. Now that I've got that epic rune. I'm actually currently using Kick of Tyr. I don't actually think it's really that good. It's a Sparta kick, that's why I thought it was hilarious. But its range is extremely short, and as you see, he uses the stupid axe to do it, so it misses quite frequently. It's not that good, but this is one of the most recent abilities I've got, so that's why I'm using it at the moment. Really, this one you can use for anything. Some people like using Dive of the Valkyries, so you can get close to ranged enemies. I agree, very, very good. The Rage of Hellheim is one of the earlier ones you get. Most people would use Rush and Bash instead of this, but this one in particular actually has a really good use against the witches in particular, because you can effectively stun lock them for a little bit and get some good damage, especially with the second level. I'm actually going to use that for a little bit. I'm gonna because I've got the upgrade. I haven't used it since it's been upgraded, so maybe the damage is like much better than I remember it being. Alternatively, Feign Death is very, very good, as I said, because it's very similar to the Thorn of Slumber. You can effectively get an infinite loop going, but it takes ages. It's just more fun to just kill people. Blinding Rush, never used it. So some people might find it quite useful. It'd be very good if you wanted to rush through a story mission, but yeah. Well, anyway, those are the skills I would recommend. But really, these ones you can have. There's a lot more nuance to it. I would probably recommend using Dive of the Valkyries. You know what? I might actually put that on my 4. Use that, but yeah. Harpoon, pretty much. Harpoon, Poison Strike, definitely the best ones. The rest of them you can decide. And over here, as I said, this one's very good for exploration. Man's Best Friend is insanely good in boss fights, especially against zealots. Though it does not work against the witches. Keep that in mind. This for some reason doesn't work against the witches, but it works against everyone else. And that one's very good against legendary beasts. And that's just in general. So yeah. Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed watching today's video. I hope this was useful to you. If you want to get any of these abilities, and you want to find out where they are, literally just Google it. You will find a very, very simple, like an article. I would recommend not actually going for the YouTube videos, which sounds really bad now that I say it out loud, because obviously I would want people to watch my YouTube videos if I made tutorials. But the point is, it's a lot easier, I found, just to get someone who's written it down and just got screenshots. Then you can just map location, yeah. But it's whatever, however you prefer to enjoy your content. But yeah, that's how I would argue is the most efficient way to find all these stuff if you want. And yeah, don't forget to check out my latest video, which was talking about my tank build for Dranger difficulty using Excalibur. And yeah, there should be another video coming out sometime soon talking about my current build that I've been playing around with, and it's been a DPS kind of build using this flail. So yeah, little sneak peek for you. But yeah, anyway, as I've said, hope you enjoyed watching this video. Don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, all that other fancy stuff. I've said what I need to say. Hope to see you in the next one. Peace out.